Over the last 4 years, I've been directly responsible for more than $62 million in cash collected from teams we manage in the high-ticket sales space. And while that sounds great on the surface, looking back, it took a lot of hard work to get to this point. I had to learn how to build and train dozens of sales teams from scratch, install full sales systems into more than 25 businesses. And if I had a time machine to go back 4 years, here are the few key things that I would tell my past self that'll help me get back to this point way faster. So in this video, I'm going to condense everything I learned after generating $62 million in cash and high-ticket sales into about 21 pieces of advice. So you can skip the hard part, build a killer high-ticket sales system for your own business that runs without you having to sacrifice your mental well-being. Number one is to sell the outcome, not the offer. So the biggest point here is a lot of people like to get caught up in their offer. You watch a bunch of Hormozi videos and everything talks about the offer, right? Oh, you get 25 booked appointments or you don't pay, or this guarantee or that thing. People don't truly give a shit about that. People care about what is their problem, how well do you understand and identify that problem, and how good do you have a solution, and how good are you conveying that you know where they're at and you know where they want to go, and that you have a proven process that other people have followed to get that result. Whether you're selling a service or an agency or coaching or info product or biz op, whatever it is, your ability to understand your prospects' problems and to quickly be able to show them how you can help them get away from their problems and towards their ideal state, their solution, the better you are at selling and scaling that offer. Use that in your sales, use that in your marketing, use that in your entire ethos, and really think prospect first, not business first. Oh, how can I create an offer that has the most margin? How can I create an offer that makes us the most money? How can I create an offer that solves the biggest problem in the marketplace for the people who have money to pay me to solve it? That's the question. Number two, speed to lead equals cash. So many people don't have a speed to lead process in their business. If you don't know what speed to lead process is, you should probably watch my other videos. But speed to lead is how fast are you actually reaching out and communicating with your prospects after they've raised their hand and said, hey, this sounds interesting. Don't let leads slip through the cracks. Don't spend all of your time and energy and marketing dollars to get somebody interested just to drop the ball on the sales process. Not every single person that goes through your funnel is going to book a call. Not every single person is going to do everything that you want them to do in your funnel. You need to have a speed to lead process. So you're calling, emailing, texting, DMing, whatever it is, the leads at the point that you own the most amount of mental real estate in their head at that given time. Number three, stop hiring salespeople without a system. You need a system in place for a salesperson to be able to follow, to replicate, to duplicate, and to feel confident selling your offer. A lot of businesses that I talk to and I consult and I work with and I fix, this is the biggest sticking point for their sales hiring and recruiting pitfalls, is they keep hiring people that are good on paper, but they're not giving them the tools to be successful in their business. So the person either A, runs for the hills, B, they don't ramp fast, and then you have a crazy over expectation of what results look like in your business. Like, oh, well, I close at 45%. This guy's only closing at 20%. He's not good. Well, no, you're just the founder and you've been eating and sleeping and breathing this business for years. This person has just walked into your business and they're just lost. So create systems, create onboarding documentations, SOPs, video trainings, meet with the person 2 times a day for the first couple of weeks. Make sure that they have everything to where if it's going to fail, it's not because of the lack of systems and processes in your business. It's going to be the lack of talent from the person that you hire. Number four, setters should only be booking qualified, high intent based leads. Stop booking calls that aren't going to close. Booking calls just to post a screenshot on Twitter or Instagram is negatively impacting your business. You would want less calls booked with a higher qualification and a higher intent, which close at a higher percentage. Your business is going to make more money. You're going to work with better clients, which is going to make you love your business more. Salespeople are going to have a higher close percentage, which means they're going to make more money, which is mean they're going to act out of abundance and not scarcity. And everyone makes more money. Setters should get paid on qualified showed appointments. So only book qualified appointments so you don't get paid. Closers only get paid on deals that close. Set your system up in a way that you're only booking qualified sales calls inside of your business. Stop talking to people who are never going to give you money. They're going to burn you out. They're going to be a waste of your time, a waste of your sales team's time, and people are going to be unhappy inside of your business. The sales process should feel like leadership, not persuasion. You want to build a sales process that leads the prospect to making the best decision for themselves and for their life and for their business. The sales teams and the companies that have like a huge success and then they fail is because they're built off of manipulation. They're built off of persuasion. They use too much NLP tactics, and they don't actually care about the prospect. They care about the P&L. They care about the watches. They care about the cars. They care about the perception of how good their business is doing. It's the people who post Stripe screenshots and not client results on their profile. That's those people. You should actually be building a sales process that leads your prospect to get the result that they pay you for, because the more people that pay you money that get a result are going to speak positively in the marketplace, which is your best marketing channel of all time. You were born with one name and you have to go through your whole life with one name. I learned that from Myron Golden. It sticks with me. Everything that you do should be about your reputation. Everything that you do should be of integrity. Now, moving on, you need to be tracking the proper things inside of your business. You need to understand your show rate, your close rate, and your cash collected and revenue generated every day. You need to understand how many calls are being booked. Of those calls, how many are showing? Is there a problem with our show rate? We should understand show rate from different marketing channels. Is your show rate from setters 80%, but your show rate from paid ads 50%? Those are two different metrics you need to be tracking, so then you can fix and diagnose things in your sales process. And those are the big pillars. How many people that say they want a meeting are actually attending that meeting? Of those calls that show, how many are qualified? Of those qualified calls, how many are closing? Of those closes, what is your cash collected PIF to payment plan percentage? Those are the things that you need to be violently focused on inside of your sales process. The next thing is, don't script robots. Train thinkers inside of your business. I see so many people have these massive, convoluted, complex scripts that they want salespeople to follow verbatim, word for word. That steals your business of personality. It steals it of its culture. You don't want a bunch of yes men in your business who are just like, yes, sir, I'm going to read this thing verbatim and I'm going to lose all my personality and all my personality traits. You don't want that, right? A script should just be prompting the salesperson on what to do, how to do it. Yeah, you should script certain parts like the opener. Those are important. But the flow of the conversation, that's where you need to train people to know enough information about your business, about your offer, about your market, about your customer, to be able to have a high level conversation, because you very easily know if something is a script. This isn't a script. This is just me shooting the shit to a camera right now about things that I've learned throughout my sales process. You need to do the same thing for your salespeople. You need to train them and trust them, and then give them just enough tools and insights to be successful in your business. Now, the next thing here is having no CRM equals no scalability. You need to have a CRM. You need to have systems. You need to have technology. You need to have automation. You need to do all these things so your salesperson isn't a part-time closer and a part-time VA. What are the things that salespeople are good at? Having conversations, doing follow-up, and closing deals. That's it. What are salespeople not that good at? Updating notes, updating pipeline stages, adding tags, making sure that a contract has a comma or a semicolon in it, making sure that specific reports are up to date. Those aren't salespeople tasks. You want to have a CRM, you want to have a tech stack, and you want to have automation to be able to do the things that people don't like to do, to empower them to do the things they like to do, because the more times they do something that they like in your business, the happier they're going to be, the more money you're going to make, because they're going to have better outcomes and actually love working for your business. Speaking of salespeople, you need to fire fast, especially when values and cultures don't align. I've personally held on to closers because they're really good closers, but they're not really good for the business's culture. You need to have people who buy into the culture. You need to have people who believe in the company's mission and what it is actually doing. And they need to believe in how you're helping the people. And they need to see customer results. They need to see case studies to believe in your offer. As a salesperson, there is nothing more rewarding than the person that you worked on in a call. He joined the program, he made an extra $100,000, and he was able to buy his wife a car. That's what you do it for. Imagine if I didn't do what I was supposed to do. Imagine if I didn't help him make that decision. He wasn't able to help and impact his family. That fires me up. That gets me excited about doing what I'm doing. You need to be vulnerable with your sales team. You got to let them know what's going on, because they are the lifeblood of your business. And that brings me to the next point, is that your offer isn't a premium offer until your fulfillment is. This was something that I learned very hard in the beginning of my entrepreneurial journey. I'm a sales guy. So when I started my entrepreneurial journey, it was very easy for me to sell people something. And when I was a salesperson, I had a full customer success team. I had success managers. I had fulfillment teams. I had automations. I had people who delivered on the thing that I sold. When I became an entrepreneur, that is now me. I am now the salesperson. I am now the fulfillment. I am the customer success manager. I am the automations guy. I'm everything. You want your offer to be premium. Marketing doesn't make your offer premium. premium. Your results, your fulfillment, your delivery is what makes you a premium offer and a premium business owner. Is when people pay you money, they get what they pay for. Simple. Just do what you said you're going to do. The next one is one high performer is going to outperform 3 average salespeople. So you want to make sure that your team is full of high performers. The caveat here is that you don't always hire a high performer. You build, cultivate, manifest a high performer in your business. That comes down to training, leadership, systems and processes, culture. Your ability to turn a B salesperson into an A salesperson is going to help you crush all of your revenue targets, because now you have a process. There's a lot more B salespeople in the world than there are A+ salespeople right now. But your ability to find a B that fits from a culture perspective, they're bought in, and then you can make them an A, that's where your business really takes off. A great way to build A salespeople is to have proper compensation plans that reward their consistency, not just peaks and valleys of their salesmanship. You don't want a sales guy who can make 15K and then 3K and then 12K and then 6K and then 10K and 2K and whatever. That's not going to help them feel non-anxious in your business. You want a comp plan that has consistency to it. Every single month at the bare minimum, you're going to be able to make X with a outlier of Y. You want them to have acceptance of what X is. If we don't have a great month, I know I'm still going to make X. My rent's paid, my bills are paid, I have some money to invest, I'm good. You don't want the feast or famine type comp plans, especially with setters, because what they do is very strenuous, it's stressful, and it's tedious because they're calling people, texting people, DMing people, emailing people, LinkedIn prospecting people. They're doing all these things that don't really directly translate as it does with a closer into, oh, if I close this guy and he gives the company money, I get 10% of that. A setter is a little bit less black and white. So you want to pay a setter for a showed MQL. You want to pay a setter if he does X number of things in a specific time period, he gets a bonus. And the way you do that with setters is making sure that role playing is a non-negotiable in your business. Whether you're good at role plays or not, you need to role play with your sales reps. Role playing is the key that unlocks the castle, because you don't want your salespeople role playing with your prospects. You want to give them a safe space to be able to practice. Every single sports team practices. They have film. They actually practice it on the field. That's what you need to do with your sales team, is have more reps. They're going to become better, more confident, and it's going to show in your P&L. And then understanding that leads are not the problem, your conversion is. A lot of people are like, oh, I have a leads problem. No, you have an inability to convert leads problem. A lot of people think they just need more leads, which is going to lead to more sales. Well, yes, but also very much no, because if you only have 100 leads a month, your ability to convert those 100 leads is going to determine how much more money you're going to have to generate 1,000 leads, 10,000 leads, 100,000 leads. You need to be able to convert, and leads don't make money. You need to have a system. You need to have sales people in place. You need to have the proper scripts in place. You need to have the proper pre-call nurture sequences in place. You got to have the better show rate sequences in place. You got to have better call confirmations. You better have a better VSL. You better have a better post-booking VSL. All of those things are going to determine your conversion ability. And then once you understand how to convert leads, you need to know what leads convert. Once you know the leads that convert, then you spend more money to find the leads that convert. And the more leads you can generate that convert, the more money you make. Simple math. The next thing here is your salespeople should know your ICP better than your marketing team. Now, if you don't know what ICP is, it's a different problem. It stands for ideal customer profile. Who are the people you actually want to do business with? What do they look like? Where do they live? What do they do? What are their belief systems? What are their problems? What are their strengths? What are their weaknesses? Who is that person? Your salespeople should know that better than anybody. And your salespeople should prompt your marketing decisions, not vice versa. You don't want a marketing team that's like, oh yeah, we're generating 100 leads, the salespeople blow, they haven't converted anybody. But then you look at it like, well, you're generating shitty leads that salespeople can't close. We need to talk to the salespeople. Give me 10 prospects that if you had 100 more of these, you'd make 100 grand this month. Or what are the leads that were on your calendar that we should never talk to ever again? Send that information to marketing. If you can't explain your sales system on a whiteboard, then your sales system is broken because it's too complex, and if it's too complex and no one follows it. We had a client that we just took on. They had the most convoluted and complex go high level I've ever seen in my life. They had workflows that had workflows that had workflows that had workflows that had workflows. You couldn't diagnose, you couldn't find anything. If something broke, it took 35 minutes to an hour to go find it and then go fix it. And by that time, there was 6 other leads that went through a broken process, that they didn't get a call confirmation, they didn't get an appointment reminder, or whatever happened. Make things simple. If this person does this thing, then this thing happens. happens. And when this thing happens, this thing happens. And then when this thing happens or doesn't happen, these two people are reaching out to them. And then if they get in contact, this happens and this happens. It's just a decision tree inside of your business. Make sure it's simple. Make sure your salespeople know that this is their responsibility if this thing happens, or if this thing doesn't happen, then there's this person versus this person. The more that your salespeople know what they're responsible for, the more things get done versus the, oh, I thought this was a setter. Oh no, it's actually the closers. Well, I didn't know that. Well, the setters thought it was the closers. The closers thought it was setters. That means nothing gets done. And then to that point, make sure you're automating your follow-ups, but personalizing the touch points. You want to use automation and personalization in tandem inside of your sales process. Your appointment reminders are automated, but you also want a salesperson to call the person the morning of and be like, hey, John, great talking to you last week. Just wanted to follow up and confirm that you're still good for our call with John at 3 p.m. They're getting automated, but they're also getting a personalized touch. People buy because of the experience they have with your business. They don't buy because, oh, dude, he had the sickest appointment reminder flow, or that video was fucking dope. No, they buy because they feel good. And they feel good because the process and the environment that you put that prospect through. And then to the point of the leads, you don't need more calls in the calendar. You need more qualified calls in the calendar. You don't know what a qualified call is, you're not going to be able to scale your business. So look at the last 100 people that have purchased your product, and then look at who were the people who got results and weren't a headache to work with, and then reverse engineer what are the qualities and traits of that person. If you're able to collect information, whether it's an application or a form, what are the things that those people answered that other people didn't answer? Put that shit in ChatGPT and ask it to find the commonalities between these prospects, and then boom, now you have a qualification metrics. Then understand that only people who fit those, say it's 5 things, 4 of those 5, or at the very least 3 of those 5 things, though no one else should be on your calendar. And then if your sales team isn't selling with conviction, it's not a salesperson's problem, it's a leadership problem. So many people like to defer blame that, oh, my salespeople are lazy, or my salespeople stink, or my marketing team is lazy. They don't care about this. They only care about this. That's you, bro. Your business looks exactly like your business looks today because of what you accept as a business owner. If you have clients that refund at a high percentage, if you have people who don't get results, if you don't get a lot of referrals, that's because you're accepting something inside of your business and you're okay with how things are working, which is giving you the results that you're seeing. You're essentially saying that I'm okay with that because you're not changing shit, and people feed off of the leader. If you're cussing up a storm, or if you're negatively talking prospects in Slack or on team calls, that's going to permeate into your sales team. Be an actual leader in your business. Stop trying to be boys with all of your employees. Now, the next point here is don't chase clients, attract clients. I spent years as a business owner chasing clients. I spent years as a business owner chasing Stripe screenshots and MRR and things that I thought would give me happiness and joy. Oh, if I could only have 40K a month, or if I could only do 100K a month, I'd be happy. Okay, well, we sell a $10,000 product. I need to sell 10 of those a month to be able to hit $100,000. I only care about clients. I'm just going to run a bunch of ads, spend a bunch of money, send a bunch of emails, and close a bunch of people that might not be closed. That's what I did for the large majority of my entrepreneurial career, because I thought that's what I was supposed to do, because that's what I heard on social media and by mentors and people in other groups, is chase the money, everything else will fall from there. Actually, you need to attract the clients by being the authority and being the person. My favorite clients have come to me because of what other people say about what we've done in their business. Oh, those guys actually roll up their sleeves and get work done. They care about the clients. They care about the results. Salespeople want to work for clients that we work with and the offers that we work with because they believe in the way that we do things. If Dylan's working on this company, it's got to be a good company. So I want to work for that company because Dylan believes it's a good company and I believe Dylan. People are going to do things because of you and the person that you are and your realness and being authentic to who you truly are, and not just being some cookie cutter agency owner that does something because someone else said that you should do it. Moving on, next point here is if you confuse them, you lose them. Simplify everything. Everyone wants these complex things. Everyone wants these big, complicated Miro boards, flow charts, CRM, scripts, marketing funnels with all these downsells and upsells. Just make it easy. Reduce the friction where you should reduce friction and increase friction where you should increase friction, which is a type form or an application. Make that hard to fill out, but don't make it hard to find it. Don't make people jump through hoops. Especially if you're selling to more affluent audience, they don't have time. They do these things. We had an opt-in form for our B2B funnel for a long time and it had a shitty opt-in rate. And I kept banging my head against the wall, testing, hiring people to build new websites. We just removed the opt-in form and just gave them the video. Boom, skyrocketed in sales. Because important people, rich people, wealthy people, successful people don't have time and they just want the thing. I saw an ad, this makes sense. Boom, I just want to talk to somebody. I don't want to watch a 35-minute VSL on something. Just make it easy, simplify everything. That was just some things that I held near and dear to me. I spent some time and jotted down some points. So if you go back, listen to those things, internalize those things, look at your business. What am I doing? What am I not doing? Those are the big pieces of advice that I've taken, now scaling to a $350,000 a month business. And I talked a bit about systemizing the sales process, but it's pretty hard to explain all the intricacies of that in a video where I'm just giving you advice like this. So somewhere on this screen, there will be another video to check out where I go in depth, breaking down how you properly go ahead and systemize your sales process this year. You save hours, time, and headache trying to fix your process where you're gonna be able to unlock revenue that you might be missing out on right now. I'll see you over there.